You're listening to the COOL CLE Show.
Hello, and welcome to the COOL CLE Show. I'm your host, Jay, and we're so excited to announce our partnership with CoolCleveland.com, putting you in touch with cool events, people, news, and neighborhoods in the Cleveland area. You can get their free weekly e-blast and all their curated content by visiting www.coolcleveland.com. This week's episode, we get to know two thriving arts businesses, reviving centuries-old skills in glass blowing and blacksmithing, and how you can get hands-on with creating your own artistic masterpieces with them. But first, here's the rest of the events I think that should be on your calendar. September 28th through the 30th, Ingenuity Fest kicks off with the Automatic Weapons, Punch Drunk Tagalongs, John's Little Sister, the Katie, and the Key to the Mint, among many others who are on the bill for that. September 29th, it's Hatrix Fest, Hardcore Against Hunger and Save 22 music event at the Bumsteer Acres and Albion Road in Cleveland. You can join Euclid Beach Park now on Sunday, September 30th from 1 to 5 p.m. for their annual Remembering the Sights and Sounds of Euclid Beach Park. Located on Lakeshore Boulevard, you can take a guided walking tour featuring park exhibits, check out classic cars, grab some memorabilia, listen to some music, and ride in the rocket ship car. 12 films by pioneering women movie makers who flourished during the silent era will show until October 5th at the Cleveland Institute of Art. The series proves that women, of which there were only two during the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, were more prominent during the early days of movies. October 6th, Steve Wright celebrates a new album release, Perspectives, at Negative Space, along with some guests Hannah Stack, Tim Moon, and Alyssa Boyd, to name a few. October 13th, it's Mossum and the Sublets at Stella's Music Club. And these guys, Sense of Purpose, will be supporting After the Burial at the Agora on September 30th. This track is off its newest release. It's called Numb, available on iTunes and from their website, asenseofpurpose.net.
Trapped in our vanity, disrupting my sanity. So hollow, it makes me weak. Feeling for words, I try to speak. Searching Searching for words, they all seem the same. Every flame, expectations unreal, and now I feel so numb.
Glass blowing and blacksmithing are now considered a bit hipster and artistic, but these crafts started out in the first centuries BC, and there are 2 local businesses dedicated to not letting these skills die, but also educating the younger generation and making the experience of these trades involving fire, physical strength, and intense focus available to the public. For Tina Haldeman, owner of Larchmere Fireworks, she fell in love with the craft as a child herself, but it wasn't until she got to Cleveland did she get to actually try it out.
We went to Solder Village as kids, right? Saw the glass blower. I remember that distinctly, watching the glass blower at Solder Village and at Cedar Point. I'd be mesmerized by the glass blowing, always. And it never came up in any of the colleges I went to. I did a great tri-state tour of colleges, and it was never offered. Then years later, I have kids, kind of just living in Cleveland, raising kids, not even thinking about art in any way. And I meet somebody that knows these glass blowers on the west side. And I mentioned that I'd always wanted to do glass blowing. So for my birthday that year, they got me a gift card for a class at this place. So I did it on my birthday. And at 32, I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Gavin Lehman of Cleveland Blacksmithing was exposed to horseshoe making when he was a teenager, and when at university he saw a way to combine his passion for art and blacksmithing and has been working and teaching in Ohio for 20 years. His wife and business partner Brooke explains why she thinks this type of art is having a resurgence.
I think it's a combination of several different things. One of them is, of course, the Forged in Fire TV show, which they focus more on blade making and blade smithing versus like traditional blacksmithing, but it's a lot of the same, elements at play there. So there's this, great TV show that's really fueling the resurgence. And I think that as a whole, society is a lot more interested in getting away from screens and computers and going out and doing things and having experiences. Workshops are really popular. Among a lot of different artistic and craft industries right now. So I think it really falls in line with, the maker community being really strong and people wanting to do things.
Both companies chose to make their homes in 2 of Cleveland's most historic art districts, Larchmere and Ohio City, and they are impassioned about their respective communities and Cleveland as a whole.
The art and maker scene here is so strong. Everybody's supportive of one another, and the community and the city itself is supportive of its makers and artists. And I think that just is kind of the perfect recipe for what we have going on right now.
For Larchmere Fireworks, too.
With our shop, we're trying to bring more active art to the street.
Despite the initial impression of what glass blowing or blacksmithing entails, each company makes it easy and, as a result, perfect for children. Tina explains.
Well, I love to ask people after they do the class if it was harder, easier, or what they expected. And a lot of people say it's about what they expected. It's hot, but it's also not as hard as you think it's going to, as most people would think it would be. When you get up in there, it's step by step. So you don't get to focus too much on any one part of it because it's moving so fast. And as an instructor, we're right there next to you the whole time. You're holding the rod, you're doing the work, but we're there telling you what to do. We're that bug in your ear just saying, okay, now do this. Okay, now do this. And you're just doing it. So you don't have to think about it. You just have to follow directions, which means that kids tend to be better at this because they're used to following directions. They're kind of in that mode still. Adults kind of walk into the place and think, oh, I have an idea of what's going on. And that throws you off. You have to walk in as an empty slate, and then we will guide you through that whole process. So that's why kids are great, because they just come in and soak it all in.
Larchmere Fireworks is hosting pumpkin making classes throughout the remaining September and into October, November, and you can visit larchmerefireworks.com for ticket information. You can also check out Cleveland Blacksmithing's class from beginners to knife making on their website at clevelandblacksmithing.com.
How do I feel so lonely in such a big and crowded place? Lost in a sea of people, not one familiar face, yeah. Something's off balance, I'm falling from grace, and I can't seem to clear my head now. I'm lost without a trace, yeah. So take me back, take me home, where I know I belong. Just take me back, 'cause this path that I'm on, I don't know if I belong anymore. I chase my dreams up to the night sky, land in the Milky Way. I got my head lost in the clouds, and I think I'm gonna stay, yeah. This place is bringing me down, I wanna run so far away. There's nothing left to tie my heart down, nothing to make me stay. So take me back, take me home, where I know I belong. Just take me back, 'cause this path that I'm on, I don't know if I belong anymore. So take me back, take me home, where I know I belong. Just take me back, 'cause this path that I'm on, I don't know if I belong anymore. Refuse to waste more of my time, I won't let my dreams run dry. Connect the stars to form a line and lead me to the sky. Refuse to waste more of my time, I won't let my dreams run dry. Connect the stars to form a line and lead me to the sky. Won't you take me back, take me home, where I know I belong. Just take me back, 'cause this path that I'm on, I don't know if I belong anymore.
That was Marina Strah's new track, Lost Where I Belong, available now on iTunes. To play us out is Shy Moon with Winter Moon off her EP, The Year I Played Dead. Released earlier this year, she's on the lineup for a gig at the Coda along with Somewhat Silas and Chris DeCola on October 2nd. You've been listening to the Cool CLE Show, brought to you by CoolCleveland.com. Big thanks to Tina Haldeman of Larchmere Fireworks and Brooke Lehman of Cleveland Blacksmithing. Make sure you check out their websites and sign up for a class. I've been your host, Jay, and of course, as always, if you have a story to tell or some music to share, then contact me on the CLE Rock Show at gmail.com. Have a good one.
Got lost on a trail in the metro parks. Wanted to see the sun, but it got dark. You don't need the day to find your way home. If you give up your fear of being alone. And then I suddenly was lost in a western sky. Let's not be afraid to die. He asked me for a fortune when I crossed his path. I could tell you what I see, but you could just change that and realize that you are never alone. It's all around you. You are never alone. Hear it in the sounds. You are never alone, and I feel it coming through the winter blue. I can feel it coming through the winter blue. We only had one day, we only had one night. Still have so many other lies to get it right. We kissed goodbye and went to our alliance dance. I love you, but we're never gonna meet again in this lifetime. But I am never alone. It's all around me. I am never alone. Feel it in my blood. I am never alone, and I feel it coming all through the winter moon. I can feel it coming all through the winter moon. Through the winter moon. Through the winter moon.